on TV, then cry when we call it. We ain't taking orders, we make the audit. This ain't safe space rap, this is open season. Let's go. They can't close the jar, we already broke the seal. Now the truth's out and it's looking real. Mic lit like a fuse and the beat's on blast. We don't kneel, we don't flinch, we don't move last. America first, no mask, no leash. We the voice in the static, the storm in the breach. It's the Jar Openers podcast, no chill, just heat. We don't do sheep, we don't repeat. They say stay quiet, we talk loud. Built for the storm, we don't back down. Yo, CNN crying, big tech spying. Career politicians still looting and lying. They sell the fear, we cut the wire. Cancel us, nah, we rise higher. Truth ain't dead, it's your shadow banned. But we bring receipts, they can't withstand. From the border to the bank, from the vote to the war, we expose every crack that they try to ignore. Jar openers cracking open the lies, pulling back curtains with red-pilled eyes. Trust the science, but can't define a woman. Orange man bad, that's the whole damn sermon. Vote blue, stay poor, hate your flag, blame your race. Nah, miss us with the red coat and jar. We already broke the seal. Now the truth's out and it's looking real. Mic lit like a fuse and the beat's on blast. We don't kneel, we don't flinch, we don't move last. America first, no mask, no leash. We the voice in the static, the storm in the breach. It's the Jar Openers podcast, no chill, just heat. We don't do sheep, we don't repeat. They say stay quiet, we talk loud. Built for the storm, we don't back down. It's not just a show, it's a battlefront live. Every mic is a mission and we thrive in the fight. They can't close the jar, we already broke the seal. Now the truth's out and it's looking real. Mic lit like a fuse and the beat's on blast. We don't kneel, we don't flinch, we don't move last. America first, no mask, no leash. We the voice in the static, the storm in the breach. It's the Jar Openers podcast, no chill, just heat. We don't do sheep, we don't repeat. They say stay quiet, we talk loud. Built for the storm, we don't back down. It's not just a show, it's a battlefront live. Every mic is a mission and we thrive in the fight.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. Jar Openers podcast Wednesday evening. It's hump day. See Chris and TNT in chat. What's up, you guys? We got a lot in store for you this evening. Probably won't get through it all, but maybe I'll go long like last time. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how my voice holds out, and we'll see how the internet holds out. We had a thunderstorm roll through. Everything flickered a little while ago. I had the internet go down for a brief little bit, and it seems like it's calmed down now, but you never know. You never know around here. So anyways, we're going to start off with a short story, quick news update on the battle that's been going on between Donald Trump and Jerome Powell in the Fed. And then we're going to get into the main story tonight, which is Adam Schiff has basically been outed in classified documents dropped by Kash Patel. We'll get into it, but Adam Schiff was involved with Russiagate as the I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. I don't want to just spill it all right now, but so stay tuned. The Texas AG Ken Paxton has he's seeking to arrest Beto O'Rourke. We're going to get into some more of the updates. We're going to continue updating the redistricting scenario. We have the redistricting showdown. Now that Gavin Newsom has gotten involved, he's given Trump 24 hours to stand down. Russia makes a big move over in Ukraine just before the summit here in Alaska between Trump and Putin. So that's interesting. We'll talk about that. There's another big UFC announcement that I think is pretty cool. We're going to talk about, marijuana possibly being reclassified, the DC scenario with the National Guard. We got some updates, and we have a driver's license scandal in Kentucky that went on that a lot of people who's interested in the sanctity of elections should be interested in as well, among some other things. There's some other stuff going on too. There's some breaking stuff coming out of Tennessee, and we'll get into it all. I got a lot of stuff lined up for you guys. And so, like I said, we'll start off with this one here. That is the, let me share my screen first. Give me 1 second, I'll share the screen. And we'll get going. Share audio, okay. Probably should be quicker about that, but it is what it is. Let me put this chat up too. What's up, Jay? Good to see you, brother. Had to finish dinner. We had an early dinner around here tonight. We had tacos. You can never fail with tacos, right? It's one of my favorite food. If I had to pick one food to eat every night for the rest of my life, it would certainly be tacos. You got all 4 food groups in there, I think. I don't know. But it's good. That'd be the one that I pick. I don't know about you guys. You can let me know in chat. Would it be pizza, tacos, hamburgers, fried chicken, all the good stuff. I named those 4 because I actually saw a question on X earlier today. If you had to give up one for life, which one would you give up? For me, I would probably give up hamburgers. Although there's some pretty fire hamburgers. You're a burrito man. Nice. So anyways, you got this first one here. Wall Street is stunned as inflation defies odds on tariffs. For months, economists have sounded the alarm about runaway prices. The big spike still hasn't shown up, right? These Democrat economists, the professionals that have been crying ever since Trump announced his tariff deals coming up a couple months ago. Yeah, I saw that Chris Daily Beast is trying to say MAGA is mad at Trump over the DC scenario and National Guard, which I completely disagree with. I've seen nothing but support on X, and I follow a lot of MAGA accounts, but I do follow Democrats and people that with opposing opinions just to know what they're saying and stuff like that. And yeah. I could do a scene from with Bubba from Forrest Gump on tacos, breakfast taco, carne asada taco, etc. Carnitas tacos, those are my favorites actually. With the onions and the cilantro, throw a bunch of salsa on there. Double corn tortillas. You gotta have the double corn tortillas because that way you can put more pork on there, right? And so, anyways, I'm going to start off with this one here. Like I said, I'll continue. For months, economists have sounded the alarm about runaway prices. The big spike still hasn't shown up. Inflation held steady at 2.7% in July. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported just shy of 2.8% bump Wall Street expected, right? So it's the same reading as June. Like last month, economic beauty is in the eye of the beholder. For President Donald Trump, the report claimed fodder to browbeat the Fed chair. That's Jerome Powell. Trump says, Jerome, too late, Powell, must now lower the rate, and now is in capitals because, it's important. The president said on Truth Social before threatening to sue the Fed chair over scheduled renovations to its DC offices. Fortunately, the economy is so good that we've blown through Powell and the complacent board. Sorry, the dogs are coming in and out of the room here. The thunder scares everybody, so it's just me in the house tonight, and I'm on doggy duty, so forgive me if I'm distracted a little bit here. She just pushed the door open. So, Wall Street bettors Wall Street bettors think the data sets show President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff haven't fundamentally altered the economy's overall strength. Future for the S&P 500, Dow Jones Industrial Average, and NASDAQ all climbed in early trading, a sign that markets see inflation's maintained reading as a green light. So, all the panicans out there, they should calm down, but of course they're not. You see here, there's a 40-year high that was under Biden. Not sure what year, doesn't say, but that's May in 2022, all-time high. Oh, June of 2022, excuse me. I had to move the mouse over just a millimeter. So after the NASDAQ 100 initially hit record highs on Monday, we saw a bit of risk-off action ahead of today's print as U.S. stocks closed lower. Brent Kinwell, a U.S. investment analyst at El Toro, told the Daily Mail, this morning's CPI reaction is one of relief, and we're now seeing a move back to risk-on assets like stocks and crypto, which I saw yesterday. Or maybe it was earlier today, actually. Bitcoin topped 120,000, so it's just kind of steadily creeping up. Core inflation, which strips out volatile energy and food prices, rose 1.3%, which was a 0.3% jump from June. Okay, so that was a hotter reading than analysts had predicted. Core services inflation continues to inch higher. We'll add it further. Core CPI came. Okay, so anyways, let's see here. We have this this little clip from Trump here that we'll play.
A leading global economist just.
You gotta quit coming in and out, girl.
A leading global economist just did a 180 and says your tariff plan, you may have outsmarted everybody with it. What is your message?
I love this. I love this question. This is the favorite. This is the best question I've ever been asked because I've been going through abuse for years on this. Because as you know, we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, no inflation whatsoever.
But Mr. President, what is your message to critics who think your tariff plan will cause a recession?
I think they should go back to business school. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. I mean, we're taking in billions and billions of dollars from China and a lot of other countries.
I think they should go back to business school. I do too. So I'm going to skip the rest of this. Just kind of wanted to get that into the intro. And then we have this post here from Nick Sorter. Breaking. President Trump is considering suing Jerome Powell for the horrible and corrupt $3 billion renovation at the Federal Reserve. There should be a criminal investigation into it as well, or two. Donald Trump posted, Jerome, too late, Powell, must now lower the rate. Steve Manchin, I don't know if that's Manuchin, I guess it's Manchin, really gave me a beauty when he pushed this loser. The damage he has done by always being too late is incalculable. Fortunately, the economy is so good that we've blown through Powell and the complacent board. I am, though, considering allowing a major lawsuit against Powell to proceed because of the horrible and grossly incompetent job he has done in managing the construction of the Fed buildings. $3 billion for a job that it should have been $50 million fix-up. Not good, right? That's what a lot of these people do. They like to spend $20,000 on a hammer, right? I always think of that scene from Independence Day. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. I assume everybody has. If you haven't, you should. It's a good movie, but the main character's dad says, "You don't think they really spend $20,000 on a hammer, do you?" I always think of that when I'm thinking of government spending. And then we got this from the Patriot Away. It says, Jerome Powell back in June, quote, "We are refusing to cut interest rates because everyone I know is forecasting a meaningful increase in inflation from tariffs next month. July inflation just came in below expectations. Once again, fire Powell." And here's a clip.
And what we're waiting for to reduce rates is to understand what will happen with really the tariff inflation. And there's a lot of uncertainty about that. Every forecaster you can name who is a professional forecaster with adequate resources and forecasts for a living is forecasting pretty significant. Everyone that I know is forecasting a meaningful increase in inflation in coming months from tariffs, because someone has to pay for the tariffs, and it will be someone in that chain that I mentioned between the manufacturer, the exporter, the importer, the retailer, ultimately somebody putting it into a good of some kind, or just the consumer buying it. And all through that chain, people will be trying not to be the ones who pick up the cost, but ultimately the cost of the tariff has to be paid, and some of it will fall on the end consumer. We know that because that's what businesses say. That's what the data say from past. So we know that's coming, and we just want to see a little bit of that before we make judgments prematurely.
And follow up on that. So you spent years there talking about how your data.
This guy. Referring to the professionals. Isn't he the one that's supposed to be the professional? Right? It makes me sick, right? Let's see here. Wrong decision by the Fed despite low inflation rates. Oh, really? I can't stop petting her, otherwise she's going to start whining. Trying to talk to me. Anyways, wrong decision by the Fed. Despite low inflation rates, the U.S. maintains high interest rates, hurting businesses and mortgage rates and increasing our federal debt. It's past time for our Fed to lower them. I did. Speaking of the national debt, I saw a post from Thomas Massey. I think it was today. And he was blaming the national debt, which it went over like 30 trillion or something like that. Ow, no, stay down. Okay. Sorry. This is really great entertainment. This is Parker. Hi, Parker. Anyways, he blamed the Thomas Massey. He blamed the big beautiful bill for the debt going over 30 trillion or whatever. And it's like, wait, so you didn't think it was going to go over 30 trillion without it? Like what? This is a weird post to make, right? I asked him that question. Of course, he didn't respond.
And what we're waiting.
So yeah, I thought I had one more clip, but I guess I didn't. Anyways. Oh, was there a clip on this? No, okay, there wasn't. Anyways, that's enough about them. Basically, the ongoing battle between the two, Trump and Jerome Powell, continues. You got to get down. You're scratching me. Go. Please go. She thinks she's a lap dog, and she uses her nails. And she knows how to get heavy when you're trying to move her. Anybody have a dog like that? You tell her to move, and all of a sudden their weight just increases like twice as much. She's an expert at that, aren't you, Parker? Okay, now Daisy's gonna bark. Hang on, I'm gonna kick her out and close the door. Gotta go. All right. Chris says he has cats like that. It's like, it's time to move, and they just get heavy. Oh, you gotta love them. I love them. They bring a smile to my face, so I'm not complaining, but I'm trying to work here. I'm trying to work. Anyways, let me drag some of this other stuff over here, and we'll multiple deputies shot in Pennsylvania. The scrap's got to stop. Dang. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of crime. But we're gonna get into this here. Let me move these over, and we'll start breaking down what's going on between Trump and Adam Schiff. Well, I say Trump and Adam Schiff, just it's Schiff. But of course, Trump weighed in. So we're going to start off with, did I really do that? Okay, I put them backwards, but it's okay. Okay, so we're going to start with this one. This was back in 2018. Adam Schiff said that the Russia hoax was of a size scope probably beyond Watergate. Turns out Schiff personally approved leaking classified documents to the media to smear President Trump. Adam should be in jail. I've also seen that Anna Paulina Luna is calling for him to be removed from all of his committees. But we see her call for a lot of stuff that doesn't happen.
Well, it is like Watergate in the sense that you had a break-in at the Democratic headquarters, in this case, a virtual one, not a physical break-in. And you had a president as part of a cover-up. And here you have a president doing a different kind of cover-up. You have a president peddling these falsehoods, and you have essentially people putting out propaganda like Rudy Giuliani to further that fiction. It is, I think, of a size and scope probably beyond Watergate, just not the Watergate the president is referring to.
Or not.
Well, it is like.
Well, you're probably going to eat those words. That didn't age very well. You know, I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Of course, the Democrats here are accusing their opponents of doing what they're doing. We have more of Schiff's lies. Remember when Adam Schiff, Mays posted this. Remember when Adam Schiff laughably claimed that he didn't know who the whistleblower was? This guy needs to be held accountable for his countless lies.
Some of my colleagues made the statement repeatedly that I've met with the whistleblower, that I know who the whistleblower is. It was false the first time they said it. It was false the second through 40th time they said it. It will be false the last time they say it.
So every time he says they, it's really I, right? In reality. This is him once again. Don Jr. was absolutely correct. Adam Schiff lied again. Schiff was leaking Don Jr.'s closed-door testimony in CNN during bathroom breaks. Think about that. Schiff is a sicko that must pay for his crimes.
Before I let you go, Congressman, I want to get you to respond to something that the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., accused you of last night. Listen to this.
Out of testimony at about 8 o'clock at night looking, and CNN is running quotes from noon on about my testimony. You know, in the House Intelligence Committee. I mean, that has to say something about what's going on in there. Since he's never met a camera he didn't love, I would bet a lot of money that it was him. Out of testimony about.
You heard. You got the point. You want to respond?
Sure. He's been making this claim all along. What upsets Don Jr. And I can understand why he's upset is he was saying publicly, "I'm fully cooperating with Congress. I'm answering all their questions." And then he goes before our committee and refuses to answer a whole host of questions, making completely fallacious claims of privilege. And we called him out on it, as we have done with other witnesses. Now, he calls that a leak because we exposed the.
No, it wasn't because you exposed anything. It was because you went to the bathroom and talked to the cameras in the meantime, dropped off note cards or whatever it was that you did. Allegedly.
The fact that he refused to answer questions and was making up some attorney-client privilege to cover conversations between he and his father when neither is an attorney nor the client of the other. So that's his upset. That's not a leak. It is exposure of his non-cooperation and his stonewalling of our committee.
So specifically when he says, when he accuses you of leaking his testimony, leaking information, you're saying, go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is we have always maintained the position that, well, we won't talk about the substance.
He's not saying it wasn't me.
Of a witness's testimony in closed session. We will reveal where they're non-cooperative so that they cannot mislead the public into thinking that they're coming and answering all of our questions. And that is not only a practice that we have had, but also my colleagues in the GOP have from time to time used the same practice. For example, when Steve Bannon came in and stonewalled our committee, they were more than willing to go out publicly and say, he's not answering our questions. So that's been our practice, both Democrats and Republicans. Don Jr. may not like it because he wants to maintain a facade of cooperation, but that is the reality.
So just to be precise, yes or no, did you leak any of the information from his testimony?
No, I don't leak.
He said, no, I don't leak. But he definitely leaks information, according to what we're finding out today. Oops, wrong button. But I thought that was funny, and I'm surprised that anybody on CNN would actually try to nail him down and make him answer the question. He gave him an opportunity to clarify once, and then he said, "All right, look, you got to answer this." And thankfully, he did actually. He needs diapers. TNT. So Shadow of Ezra posted this. Rep Steve Scalise told Congress that Adam Schiff possessed over 3,500 pages of illegally obtained phone records targeting members of the press and even fellow lawmakers. Scalise says Schiff selectively leaked this information for what he called treasonous political gain.
Done. And that is, and I'll yield in a moment, but he selectively put in a report the names of members of the press, of members of Congress, who he has had political disagreements with. He didn't put the names of everybody else in there. If he's got 3,500 pages of reports of phone records of people he's been spying on, he won't share all of those people that he's spying on, but he's selectively going to leak out names of members of the press who've written articles maybe that he disagrees with. That's frightening. That would be an abuse of power, but we don't know because the chairman won't share the details of what he's up to, but he did selectively put some of that in a report that wasn't even discussed in the hearings. And so, yes, it raises alarms, it raises concerns, and I would hope we get to the bottom of it.
Well,
but I'm very concerned about
it. It took a while, but apparently we're now getting to the bottom of it. I got this post here from Jim Jordan. According to a whistleblower, Adam Shifty Schiff, which, Adam Shifty Schiff was trending on X today. He was by far the most trending thing that I saw when I was looking. Adam Schiff approved the leak of classified information to target President Trump. How was this not on the front page of the New York Times? And he posted this where it says, when working in the capacity redacted was called to an all-staff meeting by Schiff. In this meeting, Schiff stated the group would leak classified information which is derogatory to President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Schiff stated the information would be used to indict President Trump. Redacted stated this would be illegal, and upon hearing his concerns, unnamed member of the meeting reassured Redacted that they would not be caught leaking classified information. Again, here we have continuing. Redacted was again approached about leaking classified information in a separate meeting by unnamed individuals. Redacted believed this activity to be unethical and treasonous. Redacted was concerned about the discussions and as a result reached out to contacts from his prior redacted employment for guidance on where to report this experience. These discussions led Redacted to contact the FBI regarding his concerns. Redacted had several conversations with two unnamed FBI agents related to the matter and was eventually invited to attend a mock ... See here, Chris said, and after Scalise said that the camera after Scalise said that and the cameras were off, he went and gave Schiff a pat on the back because it's all theater. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Possibly. I do agree with TNT here. Imagine being so stupid that you vote for him. Just crazy, right? Scalise did take some bullets. It wasn't necessarily for the country, but as a result of being a Republican. So I can't imagine him working very hard with Democrats, but I don't know. I don't hear about him a whole lot. But here's a story. Karoline Leavitt responds to bombshell declassified FBI report of whistleblower reporting Adam Schiff for leaking classified information during the Russia hoax. And, I'll go back real quick and remind folks that of the concept that Democrats were on the attack all 4 of Trump's first term, which kept him on his heels, which separated him from the people that were closest to him because they were forced to be on the defense. Trump losing in 2020 might have been one of the best things for the country, which I hate to say, simply because the damage that Biden did with the open borders and, the Russian invasion into Ukraine and stuff like that. I don't believe it would have happened had Trump been the president, but it gave Trump time to work on his next plan and put better people around him and actually put together some offensive attacks, which he could use against these people who were attacking him. And while they're now on their heels defending themselves, they lose the ability to attack, essentially. Therefore, all their time is consumed essentially defending themselves because they want to stay out of prison or worse, right? So back to the story here. Karoline Leavitt responds to bombshell declassified FBI report of whistleblower reporting Adam Schiff for leaking classified information during the Russia hoax. Karoline Leavitt on Tuesday responded to the declassified FBI report of a Democrat whistleblower who was fired after telling the FBI that then House Intelligence Committee ranking member Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell leaked classified information to the media to further the Russiagate hoax during Trump's first term. So it was a deep state cabal of individuals: Obama, Schiff, Swalwell, Brennan Clapper, Comey, even Robert Mueller, however you say his last name. Yeah, I do agree with you on that. So that's kind of why I hesitate that it was good that Trump lost that election. TNT says our country was all destroyed in 4 years. There's no sugarcoating that. I know that sucks. Yeah, Soros, Chris. Yeah, exactly. And then TNT asked, why is Schiff not removed from all committees? That's a good question, especially with another member of Congress, Anna Paulina Luna, calling for it. But maybe time will tell. Kind of with everything, but hopefully soon. I mean, the dude should be off all committees, basically not allowed to work in the government capacity. I mean, he leaked classified documents. He leaked all kinds of stuff, according to the reports here. Continuing, asked about the report by Turning Point USA's Monica Page about the report and what the president wants to see happen to Schiff, Leavitt told reporters that President Trump wants to see Adam Schiff held accountable and that his administration is taking accountability very seriously. She further slammed the leftist media for not covering the bombshell story fairly, and if this were reversed, if this were allegations against the president or any of these cabinet officials, I'm sure everyone in the room would cover it as such, she said. Well, here I am with my channel trying to cover it. I'm not mainstream media, but, the more you guys like, share, subscribe, all that type of stuff, the more people can see these reports. She also read a quote from FBI Director Kash Patel, who said, for years, certain officials use their positions to selectively leak classified information to shape political narratives. It was all done with one purpose: to weaponize intelligence and law enforcement for political gain. Those abuses eroded public trust in the institutions, or in our institutions. The FBI will now lead the charge. With our partners at the DOJ and Congress, we'll have the chance to uncover how political power may have been weaponized and to restore accountability. I think it's pretty clear that the political power was certainly weaponized. It says, watch. So we'll just watch it.
Monica. Thanks, Caroline. My question involves Russiagate. A whistleblower alleges that then Congressman Adam Schiff approved leaking classified information to smear President Trump's image during the Russiagate scandal. Does the president plan to investigate Adam Schiff, and what would accountability look like if more information confirms this report?
The president has already said he wants to see Adam Schiff held accountable for the countless lies he told the American people in relation to the Russiagate scandal. I brought Tulsi Gabbard out to this podium to talk to you about all of that. And this administration is taking accountability very seriously. As for this new FBI whistleblower report, I understand Kash Patel last night declassified a 302 FBI document showing that a whistleblower who is a Democrat, a career intelligence officer who worked for Democrats on the House Intel Committee for more than a decade, repeatedly warned the FBI in 2017 that then Rep. Adam Schiff had approved leaking classified information to smear then President Donald Trump over the Russiagate scandal. This is obviously a bombshell whistleblower report. Hopefully more people in this room will cover it as such. And I have a quote from the FBI director for all of you. He has said this: for years, certain officials used their positions to selectively leak classified information to shape political narratives. It was all done with one purpose: to weaponize intelligence and law enforcement for political gain. Those abuses eroded public trust in our institutions. The FBI will now lead the charge with our partners at DOJ, and Congress will have the chance to uncover how political power may have been weaponized and to restore accountability. That's what the administration is focused on, and hopefully we'll see some more media reports on this whistleblower allegation. If this were reversed, if this were allegations against the president or any of these cabinet officials, I'm sure everyone in this room would cover it as such. Elizabeth.
Yep, exactly. Let's see here. Let me get back to the article here. The unidentified Democrat whistleblower told the FBI that then Democrat Rep. Schiff approved leaking classified information to smear Trump, according to newly declassified FBI 302 interview reports obtained by Just the News. Let's see here. Beginning in 2017, the intel officer who worked at the House Intelligence Committee repeatedly told the FBI that Schiff authorized leaking classified information to destroy Trump during the Russiagate hoax. The whistleblower said Democrat Eric Swalwell was likely the source of the classified leaks. At the time of the leaks, Adam Schiff served as the ranking member and later the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Schiff is now a U.S. Senator for California. Good Lord. The whistleblower also told federal agents that Schiff was promised the position of CIA director if Hillary Clinton won the 2016 election. So he was pissed. Which actually have this post from Nick Sorter. That is, Democrat whistleblower reveals Adam Schiff personally approved leaking Russia collusion hoax documents to the media to smear Donald Trump. And you can't forget that the complacent lefty mainstream media just loved repeating the anti-Trump stuff. Anytime they got it, they loved it. They soaked it up and they perpetuated it. Even all the way through Biden. I mean, they were correcting his speeches and stuff to make him look better when they were putting them in print. But here.
And tonight, breaking news and new developments as the Russia hoax continues to unravel. According to our friend John Solomon, and a new report tonight just out, and he will join us in just a moment. A Democrat whistleblower repeatedly was warning the FBI beginning in 2017 that the congenital liar Adam Schiff had authorized leaking classified information to smear President Trump, which, by the way, could be a violation of the Espionage Act. Here with more on this breaking report, the editor-in-chief, founder, chief investigative reporter, justthenews.com, John Solomon. This is a big story, and this is a Democratic whistleblower, and there might be other Democrats implicated as well, like Kinzinger.
Yeah, well, one of the guys that's in here is Eric Swalwell. Now, that is secondhand information from the whistleblower, but the whistleblower actually attended a meeting with Adam Schiff when he was ranking member. Yeah.
I stand corrected. It was they both hate Trump, so I kind of mix them up.
Yeah, they all merge together these days. Listen, this whistleblower literally sat in a meeting, he tells the FBI, where Adam Schiff authorized the leaking of classified secrets to dirty up Donald Trump and to try to build towards either a select committee in Congress or a special prosecutor. This whistleblower was a career intelligence officer. He had worked for the House Intelligence Committee, Democrat staff for a dozen years when he came forward to the FBI. He gave 4 interviews. He gave very specific information to the FBI, and nothing happened. Why? Because the Justice Department simply decided to take a pass. How many times have we sat around in the last decade and heard, we're going to get to the bottom of that classified leak, and then a few months later, we couldn't get to the bottom of that classified leak. In the case of Adam Schiff, they got to the bottom of some classified leaks, but the Justice Department chose not to act. So tonight, past attorney generals, people like Merrick Garland and Jeff Sessions and Rod Rosenstein, who was acting on Russiagate, they've got some serious questions answered. Did they know about this Adam Schiff stuff? Why did they allow it to be passed on? And will anything happen in the current Justice Department?
So John Solomon added a few more names to that list, former directors of the FBI and whatnot. This part is from the New York Post. Schiff, who spearheaded the first impeachment of Trump in 2019, had long been suspected by Republicans of leaking classified information during the Russiagate saga. He also infamously read key portions of the since debunked Steele dossier into the congressional record in 2017. In 2023, House Republicans voted to censor Schiff for his role in Russiagate, only for him to be elected to the Senate the following year. Californians, right? Last week, I think he's in California, I think it said. Last week, the Post reported that a grand jury has been convened in Maryland to investigate whether Schiff falsified bank documents and property records to acquire more favorable loan terms. California senator is accused of mortgage fraud, mail fraud, bank fraud, and false statements to the financial institutions for certifying a Maryland property as his primary residence, while also claiming a California condominium as his main home for tax and mortgage purposes. The dude's just overall a scumbag. Thinks the law doesn't apply to him and uses laws where applicable to his benefit, right? The FBI earlier this month initiated an investigation into former CIA Director John Brennan and ex-FBI Director James Comey for any potential crimes, criminal actions taken as part of the Trump-Russia probe. The Justice Department also launched a strike force last month after Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard released a long-anticipated 44-page report of from the House Intelligence Committee that found egregious errors committed by Brennan in the compiling of an assessment that claimed Moscow preferred Trump to defeat Clinton. I mean, it's crazy. The deep statery just knows no bounds. This from Libs of TikTok. Breaking now declassified FBI record from 2017 reportedly reveals a House Intelligence Committee leaking process in which information will be run by ranking member Adam Schiff before determining how it would be leaked. So, like, he was conducting the leaks, approving the leaks, literally subverting President Donald Trump's, presidency and agenda. And she lives of TikTok. She added this picture here. Let me see if it's different from what I read earlier. And it looks like it's different. So, rationale sounded plausible to the staffer, and on Blank's last day, the staffer went to Redacted to expose his sympathy. In response, Redacted also told the staffer that he'd been fired because there was an expectation of leaking and he refused to participate. Redacted described a systematic process through which leaks were effected. The staffer did not press Redacted for details. According to the account given to Redacted, the staffer met with Redacted for a drink later that evening, during which Redacted provided the same detailed description of the leaking process within the HPSCI minority. Redacted emphasized that this is not a one-time thing under the system established by Redacted. Notes would be run up to the ranking member, Adam Schiff, after which a decision was made to who would leak the information. I wonder, I guess who would leak the information. Maybe that was Swalwell. But Redacted alleged that this process remained in place under the minority staff director who succeeded Redacted, though two other minority staffers, blank and blank, also refused to leak, according to blank blank operates, a company called something, telephone number, email. Okay, so the provider was a document written. Okay, so I mean, it says secret, no foreign. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I mean, we're seeing literal pictures of these documents, of these reports, which I'm sure these people are, if they lie, like filing an affidavit, that's basically perjuring yourself. And we have Donald Trump's reaction here on Truth Social. Just out, irrefutable proof that Adam Shifty Schiff, quote, approved plan to leak classified information to damage Donald Trump. He didn't say thank you for your attention to this matter, like usual. Hey, Andrea, how you doing? Was helping the son put a valve gasket on your car? Oh, well, that's fun. Mechanical stuff, engines. Yeah, I got I tried to mow the yard this afternoon and the belt broke on my rider. So no mowing until I get that fixed. And at the same time, I noticed that the deck is rusting through, so I probably have to buy a new deck. Either that or I'm going to go out there with Bondo and fix the holes, but that's just going to be a temporary thing, especially down here. Everything rusts so fast. Eric already posted. Whoa, President Trump directly calls for AG Pam Bondi to get going on investigating Adam Schiff and Hillary Clinton regarding the Russia hoax. Quote, I'm looking at Pam because I hope something's going to be done about it. Here he is.
With them great, actually. We had the Russia, I had to go through the Russia hoax. And it was actually, it was a strain on the relationship. I actually told them, I said, you know, they got this phony investigation going on, Russia. Totally phony, created by Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and Hillary Clinton and the whole group of them. And it made it very dangerous for our country because I was unable to really deal with Russia the way we should have been. I'm looking at Pam because I hope something's going to be done about it. These people put our country at great danger. And Adam Schiff, it was all made up. It was a hoax. The Mueller report came out. They all hated me. They had 18 Trump haters. And they said I did nothing wrong. They couldn't believe, they couldn't find anything after years of investigation. It was all a hoax. It was a hoax created by the Democrats, but in particular Schiff and Crooked Hillary, the whole group. And now we've learned all the stuff that's come out over the last 2 months is incredible through intelligence. And hopefully something's going to happen with it. These are people that put our country in danger. In real danger. I want to thank you all very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think about how, you know, all these people blaming Russia built the hostility up between Russia and the United States, potentially. You know, Russia's out here saying, we didn't do nothing. Trump's like, I didn't do nothing, but here your mainstream media is sitting here saying we did. Yeah. Andrea says, Adam needs to finally get the consequences that he deserves for his lies and corruption. 100%. Totally agree. Oh, and what's up, Jamie? Good to see you. Good old Shifty Schiff. Jamie, or not Jamie, Andrea mentioned that decks aren't cheap. No, I was looking at it. I got a Cub Cadet 0 turn 42-inch, and I was looking at them, and they're like $700-800. And I don't know if that includes shipping, but that's straight off of the Cub Cadet site. I do have like a Kubota dealer or whatever they're called that's down the street, like 15-20 minutes away. I might stop in there and see if they got them. I do have another like little small business guy that does like small engine repairs, and he sells equipment and stuff like that. Just right around the corner. I might go in there first and see what he has to offer, but I bet he's going to have some stuff marked up. I don't know. Maybe I'll just get it from him anyways, just for the convenience and the buying local, aspect that goes to it. But yeah, he certainly needs to be, Adam Schiff certainly needs to get the consequences. And we were mentioning before you got here that immediately he should be removed from all of his committees, subcommittees, all that stuff, right? I mean, he needs to be sitting in the same position that Marjorie Taylor Greene was in her first little term there, where they wouldn't put her on anything, let her do anything. So where'd I leave off here? Okay, so the Gateway Pundit adds this to it. This Deep State Washington Post reporter was the likely recipient of Schiff's classified leaks during Russiagate scandal. Let's see here. Chris says, get a Kubota tractor to work around the property. Yeah, I would like to. I wish I had something with a bucket. It would have saved me a lot of time when I was putting up the pool and clearing out the woods behind the house and all that type of stuff. But this Deep State Washington Post reporter was the likely recipient of Schiff's classified leaks during Russiagate scandal. On Monday, it was reported that an unidentified Democrat whistleblower told the FBI and then Democrat Rep. Adam Schiff approved leaking classified information to smear Trump, according to the newly declassified FBI 302 interview reports obtained by Just the News. Okay, so I don't want to repeat a whole lot Let's see if we can get down to where the reporter is. According to a newly declassified FBI report, DOJ officials did not show any interest in probing Schiff over his illegal leaks. I don't think we probe as a punishment anymore, right? The whistleblower told the FBI as recently as 2023 that he personally witnessed Adam Schiff approve the leaking of classified information. Yeah, you guys were saying use John Deere and all this stuff. I like John Deere, but my Cub Cadet is nice. It's a 22 horsepower, everything. I mean, it starts right away. It's like 5 or 6 years old, but I've taken good care of it. And it just, the deck rusted out, unfortunately. So rather than buy a brand new one for, $4 or $5 grand, whatever they cost nowadays, I'll keep what I have. But sorry, I keep going back and forth, but I like chatting with you guys too. Now this, okay, so according to Real Clear Investigations reporter Paul Sperry, Deep State Washington Post reporter Ellen Nakashima, Naga work here anymore, was likely the recipient of Schiff's classified leaks during the Russiagate scandal. So developing Ellen Nakashima, the Washington Post handmaiden for the deep state, is now showing up in FBI 302s and the likely key recipient of classified intelligence leaks from Adam Schiff regarding Russiagate. That's a post from Paul Sperry. So declassified documents show spooks like Brennan used Ellen Nakashima to plant 3 Russiagate stories. I mean, name like that, I mean, it sounds like a communist. And then Paul Sperry posted again, new declassified docs show Obama's spooks used Washington Post stenographer Ellen Nakashima to plant 3 major Russiagate stories. 1, CrowdStrike/DNC hack. 2, ICA Putin-Trump consensus. And 3, the Carter Page Russian agents. FISA's Nakashima is a useful idiot and a Pulitzer fraud. Good Lord. Yeah, if you reported anything against Donald Trump, that was a Pulitzer. And, you're like Obama, that was certainly a Nobel Peace Prize. Let's see here. Chris says, I was told you shouldn't wash your mower decks. You're supposed to scrape the bottom and broom off the top. Yeah, I never did either of those. It's probably part of the problem, to be honest with you, keeping the grass underneath it. And then I didn't brush off the top or broom off the top, but I had an air blower that I would, a leaf blower that I'd use sometimes. To get the top, but let's see here. This person posted Adam Schiff's net worth is $70 million. His salary is $174,000, with an estimated annual income of $5 million to $8 million in cash in bank accounts. He owns a luxury yacht and spends $500,000 per month. Spends what? Assets: 9 luxury cars, gold, $1 million of gold, $600,000 in crypto, retirement $5 million, and stocks $12 million, 5 houses and 18 luxury watches. Really? that was a response to Adam Schiff saying, "Thanks, Elon. My salary is public in his financial report, but since you asked, when will you be releasing yours?" Well, that's irrelevant. Elon, however much Elon Musk makes. Here's Anna Paulina Luna. Hey, Grok, what is the criminal punishment for intentionally leaking classified information? And the response from Grok was, under U.S. law, intentionally leaking classified information often violates the Espionage Act, punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment per count, fines and forfeiture. See also, I guess that's an S, I don't know, S-798 for similar penalties on specific disclosures. This person said, "Dear Santa, I got him in a Gitmo red jumpsuit. That'd be cool." Yeah, aluminum might be good for a deck, but as soon as you hit a rock, it might fly through it. I don't know. Maybe they could line it with some carbon fiber or something like that. But it would be nice to have a nice lightweight deck to be able to disconnect and reconnect. The face you make when the new administration won't hide your treason. He's got those eyes. That's for sure. Yeah, you could just go thick with the aluminum deck. I don't know. It's a good point. Let's see here. Benny Johnson posted. We're just going to run through some stuff here. Got a bunch of posts. Former U.S. Attorney Brett Tolman says Adam Schiff could be facing 20 years in federal prison plus $250,000 in fines for every piece of Russian information he leaked to the media. Let's hear it.
Every American would say, yeah, absolutely, you shouldn't leak classified information. We don't want that to be something that you can do or get away with. Or
real quick, Andrea said, yeah, you're onto something there, TNT. Go pitch that to John Deere. You could be a millionaire. Well, you already put it in the public, so they stole the idea already. It's already stolen.
every American would say, yeah, absolutely, you shouldn't leak classified information. We don't want that to be something that you can do or get away with. Or if there's a temptation to do that and get paid for it, then the penalties should be very severe. So can you talk me through, like, what would the penalties look like for an average individual leaking classified information?
Yeah, I mean, the fine is up to $250,000 for every leak that's charged. So it depends on the counts in the indictment. Also, keep in mind, some of the punishment hinges on the purpose that the classified leak or the possession of classified documentation illegally. So the purpose becomes very important. If you'll recall, Comey, when he said no prosecutor would prosecute Hillary Clinton for having classified information, I mean, it was just an outright lie. But there was always this question, this debate. What was the purpose of it? Was it just sloppiness? Same with Joe Biden. Was it sloppiness that he had all of these, that he used the classified documents to write his memoirs? Was there anything truly nefarious about it? And there was some analysis of Donald Trump. But with President Trump, it was just, you had him, we're going to go after you because that's how we're going to apply the law. But in reality, you have to look at the purpose to see whether or not there are aggravating factors. Here, I believe this was, in essence, the beginning of a conspiracy to take down a president, to impact his ability to lead. There are other statutes, conspiracy statutes, interference with, official proceedings, et cetera. There's question. A lot of people have question about treason. Is it treason? You probably don't satisfy the elements for treason, but there are some related crimes that could come into play. And if you found that the individual was doing it in an effort to undermine the United States, you're looking at potential penalties of up to 20 years in federal prison.
Let's do it. I think that's wishful thinking. But, somebody's going to have to be made an example out of, right? Maybe it'll be Adam Schiff. Hopefully it's the whole group of them. It's the whole group of them. Benny's being sued. It was over a flood video. Apparently, Benny didn't give them credit for the video. Oh, goodness. Oh, you're a fishing captain? Good to see you, by the way, brother. Man, I'm jealous. I tried to mow the yard today and the belt broke. So I think what happened is I have a hole in the deck, a couple holes rusting through. I think something came up and got caught in the belt. By the way, I want to remind folks to hit that like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I see a lot of people kind of filtering through on YouTube. Thanks to everybody that's watching on X and Rumble as well. I see a lot of people are filtering through here on YouTube. So, stick around for a little bit. Give me a chance. You might actually find that you enjoy the show. Oh, and I want to give folks an update. Dan McKnight reached out to me last night, and this is just a cool little story. He was just coming back from Ron Paul's 90th birthday. It was their birthday party. I thought that was really cool. Like, man, Can't wait till the day that I'm getting these invites. Maybe someday. But I thought that was really cool. And he also thanked me for giving him a shout out. Said I didn't misrepresent. When I mentioned we're talking about Trump using the National Guard in D.C., when I spoke on it, I was like, man, I really hope I'm not misrepresenting his mission there with the National Guard. And he said not at all. So that was cool. That was really cool. It's always good to hear from Dan. And if you want to help out with his project, it's Defend the Guard. You can look that up. I'm sure if you Google Defend the Guard or anything like that, you'll be in the right place. Anyway, shout out Dan McKnight. So anyways, here it is. Cash director, FBI director, Kash Patel. Oh, hi, Earl's daughter. Good to see you. Cash director, whatever his name is, Cash director, FBI Patel. We found it. We declassified it. Now Congress can see how classified info was leaked to shape political narratives and decide if our institutions were weaponized against the American people. He included this exclusive Democrat whistleblower told the FBI that Schiff okayed leaking classified intel to hurt Trump. So, I mean, rather than hearing it directly from, or rather than hearing it simply from multiple news articles and stuff like that, you actually have Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, confirming the story. And he actually followed up and posted this article from Just the News, which I'm sure is going to basically repeat what we've been. It's a longer version, but what we've been kind of talking about and reading through and everything like that. So I'll spare you guys from a bunch of repeat. Think about what movie you want to watch after the show. Spaceballs. I was going to suggest I kind of mentioned it last show, I think after you left, Chris, that on Saturday we should watch Princess Bride. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. And somebody mentioned it. And I was like, you know, that's a good one to watch. And then I just quoted Office Space a little bit ago, if you guys didn't catch that, when I said not going to work here anymore. And that one's a good one to watch as well. But yeah, Spaceballs is always good. I got really fired up when they were talking about maybe making a part 2 of Spaceballs. I don't even know, is Mel Brooks still alive? But Salty Cracker reposted lives of TikTok. Adam Schiff personally requested to leak classified information. Okay, we read through that. I didn't realize that was a repeat. My bad. See new documents. Okay, so this is saying new documents have come to light. So let's read this one. Exclusive from the Gateway Pundit. New evidence of Adam Schiff corruption. New documents have come to light that provide more compelling evidence that Democrat Senator Adam Schiff's corruption. Christine Bish, a small business. I'm sure she hates having that last name. Hopefully that's her husband's last name, but she didn't have to grow up with that one. Anyways, a small business owner, mother, grandmother, and political activist in Sacramento has been digging into Schiff's past for several years. She, who recently announced her bid for the 6th congressional district seat in California, has thoroughly detailed Senator Schiff's alleged wrongdoings. Schiff is accused of mortgage fraud by Bish and even by President Trump. Let's see here. They included this post here. I guess I'll read through it just in case. She posted, since 2020, I've been investigating Adam Schiff for mortgage fraud. When the media stayed silent, the and oversight failed, I acted, and on April 30th, 2025, I filed over 300 pages of evidence with the Federal Housing Finance Agency, the FHFA, and requested a criminal referral. Now it's finally breaking through, but this isn't new. It's been uncovering the truth. I've been uncovering the truth for years. I followed the money, exposed the fraud, and stood my ground. Help me finish what I started. Your support helps me take this fight to the halls of Congress and hold the political elite accountable. So he's asking for donations there. The race is a targeted one, meaning the Republican Party and President Trump will put their full weight and fundraiser operations behind Bish once she wins the primary. The GOP aims to take his seat, but sure, excuse me. The GOP aims to take this seat. Be sure to visit Bish's campaign site for, okay. While being an elected member of the U.S. House who resided in California, Schiff declared that his primary residency was, in fact, a home he bought in Maryland, allegedly to get better mortgage rates. You know, something that they similarly prosecuted Trump for. But Schiff declared his Maryland home his primary residence in 2003, according to Fox News. Here's some images of both of his houses. Adam Schiff claims residency to run for office while declaring his Maryland mansion as his primary residence for tax and mortgage benefits. Which is his primary residence? The mansion on the hill in Maryland, or the one-bedroom, one-bath condo over a bar in a parking garage? I mean, I would assume that it's the Maryland home, but I don't know. It's much nicer than a one-bedroom, one-bath over a parking garage in a bar. Her first name is Christine, but her last name is Bish, B-I-S-H, like fish, but with a B. Not a TCH at the end. While being an elected member. Okay, so in 2009, 11, 12, and 13, Schiff also claimed that his home in Maryland was his primary residence in mortgage refinancing documents. According to the California Secretary of State's website, your voter registration record should always reflect your current residence. Bish sent me over Schiff's. Bish sent me over Schiff's never before public voter registration documents for the years 2003, 04, 06, and documents show Schiff was registered to vote in California. He began claiming his primary residence was in Maryland in 2003. Here's some of the documents. So Donald Trump said, I've always suspected Adam Schiff was a scam artist, and now I learned that Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division have concluded that Adam Schiff has engaged in a sustained pattern of possible mortgage fraud. Adam Schiff said that his primary residence was in Maryland to get a cheaper mortgage and rip off America when he must live in California because he was a congressman for California. I've always known Adam Schiff was a crook. The fraud began with his finance of his Maryland property on February 6, 2009 and continued through multiple transactions until the ... right? So, I mean, the dude is just dirty. What a bish. The dude is just a scumbag through and through. Through and through. Got this also from the Gateway Pundit. Janine Pirro, quote, when I have the evidence and enough to go forward, you will hear from me loud and clear. Janine Pirro threatens charges against Adam Schiff. This is from yesterday. An unidentified Democrat whistleblower told the FBI the Democrat Adam Schiff approved leaking classified information to smear Trump, according to newly declassified FBI 302 interview reports obtained by Just the News. Let's see here. Okay, so according to U.S. Attorney Brett Tolman, the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., Janine Pirro is the only one who can make a decision on a case like this. Janine Pirro told Benny Johnson on Tuesday that, quote, when she has enough evidence to move forward, we will hear from her loud and clear. Pirro also told Johnson that she does not talk about her cases while she is investigating. So we have some of the interview here. Benny Johnson said, Adam Schiff today, there was an FBI 302 that has now been declassified by Kash Patel. It's gone to Congress. and it's about Adam Schiff leaking classified information. It's a whistleblower from his office, and the documents are here in the public, Brent Tolman says. Well, you listen, only the U.S. Attorney for, excuse me, well, you listen, only the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. can make a decision on a case like this. And so my question is open-ended. Have you reviewed these documents? Are you familiar with Adam Schiff's and the criminal conspiracy to leak against President Trump? Do you plan on investigating? And U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says, you know what, Benny? I think you know that this is my wheelhouse. The difference between me and some other people is that I don't talk about what I'm investigating. I don't talk about what I'm doing. When I have the evidence, when I have enough to go forward, you will hear from me loud and clear. It looks like Pencil Neck is in deep doo-doo. Pencil Neck. He's got two nicknames. I forgot about that. And it's about time this partisan hack is held to account for his criminal acts. Okay, so I didn't have to read all that because they're going to say it right here, aren't they?
Adam Schiff.
Oh, I muted it.
FBI 302 that has now been declassified by Kash Patel. It's gone to Congress, and it's about Adam Schiff leaking classified information. It's a whistleblower from his office.
What kind of bar?
And the documents are here and they're public. And Brent Tolman is saying, well, you listen, only the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. can make a decision on a case like this. And so my question is open-ended. Have you reviewed these documents? Are you familiar with the Adam Schiff's and the criminal conspiracy to leak against President Trump? Do you plan on investigating?
You know what, Benny? I think you know that this is my wheelhouse. And the difference between me and some other people is that I don't talk about what I'm investigating. I don't talk about what I'm doing. When I have the evidence, when I have enough to go forward, you will hear from me loud and clear.
Okay, so something that we all probably forgot, and this isn't really a What We Forgot Wednesday topic, but it applies, is that Adam Schiff got a preemptive pardon from Joe Biden. And so this is Data Republican small r posting that Adam Schiff's pardon is, quote, for any offenses related to the activities or subject matter of the Select Committee to investigate J6th. Okay, so Schiff is not protected against Russiagate-related offenses or his fraud with his home, right? Mortgage fraud. This is the pardon, I believe. Probably signed by AutoPen, which if it is, in my opinion, isn't valid in the first place. So go after him on the J6 stuff as well. If for nothing else, he can't invoke the Fifth Amendment, and if he does, that's a new crime that they can throw him in jail for as well, and add to this, potential 20 years that you might be already looking at. So to whom all these presents shall come greeting. So weird. Be it known that this day I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States, pursuant to my powers under Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of the Constitution, have granted unto the members of Congress who served on the Select Committee to investigate January 6th attack on the United States Capitol, Select Committee. The staff of the Select Committee, as provided by House Resolution 503, 117th Congress, and the police officers from the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department or the U.S. Capitol Police who testified before the Select Committee. A full and unconditional pardon for any offenses against the United States which they have committed or taken part in arising from or in any matter related to the activities or subject matter of the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol. In testimony whereof, I have hereunto signed my name, have you? And caused the seal of the Department of Justice to be affixed. So this is funny. This is actually a statement that the president has hereunto signed their name. But if it was AutoPen, this is actually a lie, right? And there's this signature of Joseph R. Biden Jr. I didn't even know he was a junior. So that's good, because that's something that I didn't even realize. I forgot that Schiff had this pardon looming over his head, this, saving grace. That's all over with. So now James Comey has been exposed for ordering the FBI to leak classified information to the New York Times during Trump's first term. I got this this post here from Nick Sorter. Wow, James Comey has been just been exposed for ordering the FBI to leak classified information to the New York Times during Trump's first term. Excuse me, for newly declassified documents. Comey needs to be locked up. There's a 10-year statute of limitations on the willing and knowing leaking of classified information. This happened in April of 2017. Send this to a grand jury and lock him up.
It is a worthwhile. This is a very long piece that you have here.
Yeah.
It is a worthwhile read. I'll let you sum it up, and then I want your conclusion on what you're finding here, because to me it's very damning.
Well, what you find out is that James Comey decided not to work through the FBI press office when he wanted to change the narrative in Washington, burnish his reputation against attacks from Democrats, and try to sully Donald Trump's reputation. If you remember, Democrats were mad that James Comey let out of the bag just before the election that there might be some new evidence in the Hillary Clinton email scandal. Hillary blamed Comey for throwing the election. She blamed the Russians for throwing the election. She blamed everybody but herself for throwing the election for her. But Comey was trying to rehabilitate that. And so he had an intermediary, a Columbia Law professor by the name of Daniel Richman, who the FBI confirmed and interviewed. And Richman said, yes, I used my relationship with a New York Times reporter named Michael Schmidt. He's one of the authors of the Pulitzer Prize winning package that President Trump is now suing over. And my goal was to improve negative stories about James Comey and to set a narrative, i.e. set the Russia collusion narrative. This guy worked around the official channels of the FBI press office. And at one point, the FBI noted, you met with James Comey. He gave you access to classified information. A short while later, you had a conversation with that New York Times reporter, and he ends up reporting something that appears to be classified. Did you do it? And he gives, I think, perhaps the most famous denial people will remember, since Bill Clinton says it depends what the meaning of the word is when he tried to obfuscate whether he had an affair with Monica Lewinsky. He says, I can say, I don't think I confirmed the information. I can say with a discount that I didn't give him the classified information. With a discount means you got to give me some room. It's an extraordinary moment. The FBI clearly had strong suspicions that this was a potential backdoor for information, maybe classified information, to get out to the media with James Comey's fingerprints on it. And they didn't go much further. They didn't put Comey before the grand jury, that we can tell. They didn't appear to put this gentleman, Daniel Richman, before the grand jury. And like Adam Schiff, as we told you last night, here they have an eyewitness whistleblower who said, I was in the room when he authorized leaks of intel. These end up being a dead end again. And it's another reminder of a dual system of justice that the Justice Department had the last 6 years. These are documents that were never given to Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan confirmed that to me today. And we're just learning 8 years later, because of what Kash Patel turned over, that the FBI had all the evidence of how the false narrative of Russia collusion was spread across this country to the detriment of voters, to the detriment of President Trump's first campaign, and they did nothing about it.
It's a credit to the FBI. It's a credit to Kash Patel. It's a credit to the people that are involved in sharing this information now with the public. Do you see legal jeopardy here?
I think if Pam Bondi goes the grand jury route, that these are people that are going to be hauled before the grand jury. I want to remind people, most classified information statutes have a 5-year statute of limitations, but there is a provision that extends it to 10 years if it's willing and knowing. And there is some pretty clear evidence of a strong apparatus put in place to make these leaks occur, according to the FBI documents. I think a grand jury could go back and try to compel testimony and find out if it rises to the level of criminality. Tomorrow, though, I think we're going to take people on a new destination, which is, how often did the FBI get blocked in trying to investigate Hillary Clinton corruption at the Clinton Foundation? You're going to be shocked by the answer.
Dang. It reminded us of that. What is. TNT says that I heart strawberry parfaits and banana splits. F. Gurley says banana splits are her mom's favorite. I like the peanut butter parfaits. Those are my favorite from Dairy Queen. Those are my favorite. For sure. It's been a while since I've been, though. Been a while. Hopefully they're open whenever after I'm done with the show, because I think I am gonna go over there. Maybe get me some like chicken finger dinner or something like that too. Let's see here. So yeah, that's good. That's good news about the 10-year statute of limitations. And Comey is gonna sit here and try to claim ignorance, just like he did when he put what was it? He did the seashells. What was it? Something 45. It's a mafia term, right? You guys might be able to help me in chat. I can't remember what it was that he said. Dang it, why am I drawing a blank? But anyways, he knows exactly what it was, what it meant, and out here playing games, acting like, oh, I just thought it was, yeah, 86-47. That's what it was. 86-47. Thanks, Chris. By the way, you're gonna have to join me on the show one of these days, Chris, if you got the time and ability. And then Tulsi Gabbard posted this just this afternoon, just a few minutes or a few hours before the show started. Newly declassified top secret emails sent on December 22nd, 2016, complying with President Obama's order to create the manufactured January 17th ICA about Russia, expose how DNI James Clapper demanded the IC fall in line behind the Russia hoax. Clapper admits that it was a team sport that required compromise on our normal modalities. Which I have this actually. Roger Stone posted, sources tell me that admitted communist Islamic convert and traitor John Brennan has fled the country and is hiding out in Austria, where MSNBC has built a makeshift studio for him to make it appear that he is in the United States. Brennan has no intention of returning to the country and can be considered to be on the lam. I don't know how true that is, but that's what Roger Stone posted. Figured, that's worth noting. That, of course, is not James Clapper, who this was about, but in Obama, but still, he's in the mix. Brennan is in the mix for sure. She included and said, "Read this for yourself." Oh, let's see here. I can't really read that; it's super small. Let me see if I can blow it up. The page doesn't get bigger, but the writing around it does. Okay, so I can't read that. Forgive me, y'all. I thought I was going to be able to blow that up and read it, but Roger Stone posted under this, the greatest single dirty trick in American political and governmental history. Cernovich says CrowdStrike must be brought in to testify under oath about the so-called DNC hack. Gunther Eagleman, time to start locking these traitors up. Vince Langman, Barack Hussein Obama was in on it. You guys, this is funny. You guys thought about starting a treason committee yet? It's tough. Don't drop the stove. So anyways, yeah. Schiff is in trouble. Hopefully all these dudes are in trouble. And like all the other stories, need to see some arrests, right? We're really desperate to see some arrests and some results. So, gonna move on to this next story. Russia forces breach. Well, here, let me just let me put it up on screen here, so I'm not trying to read little letters. Panic in Kiev. Russian forces breach Ukrainian defenses, make a major breakthrough in the Donetsk region. And this is just days before Trump is going to meet with Putin here in Alaska. And this might be kind of a final push to solidify the negotiating ability of Russia whenever it comes to negotiating which land they keep, if they keep any of the land, which we know at this point, it's not Trump's decision what land they get to keep or whatever. And he even stated that within the first 3 minutes, he'll know if it's going to be a genuine discussion or not. But here's a story here. Ukrainian defenses are buckling under the relentless Russian pressure. This happened in the area near Pokrovsk. Instead of banging their heads against a heavily fortified city, Russian forces, as they do, circumvent it, seeking to cut all supply lines and encircle the defenders, at which point the garrison has to either surrender or be destroyed by attacks from all sides. Well, that's smart warfare, right? This playbook was implemented in Bakhmut and a bunch of other places I'm not going to try to read. What is striking now is that this northern prong, expected to turn west and encircle Pokrovsk, found weaknesses on the depleted defenses and dashed north by 9 miles. So that's a pretty big advancement, right? The Russian breach of Ukraine's eastern front line has triggered a panic in the country, which is the main thing that they're trying to do, I believe. Or as the mainstream media would prefer, a wave of indignation and confusion. You got to soften the blow. This development comes 3 days before Friday's historic Alaska summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Financial Times reported Ukrainian and Western military analysts said that Russian forces had advanced nearly 15 kilometers over the past few days along a narrow corridor parallel to Dnipropetrovsk, a coal mining town turned key logistical hub north of the stronghold of Pokrovsk that Russian troops have nearly encircled. The shock advance threatens to cut off a vital road linking Dnipropetrovsk and two cities. The de facto capital of Ukrainian-held Donetsk region, which the Russians aim to capture, while allowing the Kremlin's forces to bypass the flank a belt of fortifications and defense lines built in recent months. Which, side note, I'm working on a long-form video that is a debate between Dave Smith, who hasn't been my favorite person lately, but he crushes a U.S. general and some other dudes in a debate, and I'm kind of editing out the least relevant parts right now, about halfway through it. But I do plan on hopefully getting that posted either later tonight or by noonish tomorrow. We'll just see. But it's great. It's awesome, and Dave Smith makes some excellent points, countering some of the narratives that we hear. They've heard that the pundits are using to, continue this war, which from my perspective, we want the war to end, right? We want it to end as soon as possible. And we certainly don't want any more US dollars going over there. So that's kind of it for that little story. I don't want to continue reading that, but we have this update, which was a surprise to me, that exhausted Ukraine is ready to cede territory held by Russia in exchange for peace. Up until just a couple days ago, Volodymyr Zelensky was basically saying it's all or none. You give back all the land or we're going to continue to fight, basically till the death, right? That's the only way that I could conceive it. And gosh, my back is hurting. I've been sitting in this chair all day. Slowly but surely, Kiev seems to be adjusting its territorial demands to reality. In the run-up to Donald J. Trump's Vladimir Putin, whatever, peace talks in Alaska on Friday, the 15th, Kiev regime leader Volodymyr Zelensky was featured in dozens of news outlets, repeating the same line as we reported yesterday. The Washington Post says, quote, Ukraine will reject any proposal that involves ceding territory to Russia. Zelensky says, BBC News. Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine will not give up land, as Donald Trump suggests the idea ahead of meeting. Reuters, same thing. The Straits Times, never heard of them. Bloomberg, Zelensky rejects ceding land as a key security officials meet. So, I mean, that was the narrative. That was the story, that he wasn't going to give up anything. But now it seems like he has clarified that he will not cede land that he still holds. Oh, convenient, right? The Ukrainian stated goals went down from demanding the 1991 borders back, meaning they even want the Crimean Peninsula returned, to making a stand for the 2020 borders, regaining all of the 25% of territory lost in the war, and now they appear they want to keep what they still have. Well, I mean, they've been conquered, so I mean, reality has to set in at some point, you'd think. But British press is reporting that Ukraine may agree to stop fighting and cede territory already held by Russia as part of a plan for peace, which we read in the last article. Russia's still taking land if they want it, still taking territory if they want it, apparently. I'm not buying all of the hoopla that's saying that Russia is running out of resources or Russia this or that is weakened. If they are, they're still winning. They're still taking territory. So I'm not buying it. Quote, Zelensky told European leaders that they must reject any settlement proposed by Donald Trump, which sees them giving up Ukrainian land they still hold, but the Ukrainian territory and Russia's control could be on the table. This would mean freezing the front line where it is and handing Russia de facto control of the territory it occupies at Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, Kherson, and Crimea. Quote, I have many fears and a lot of hope, Donald Tusk. Portland's prime. Okay. I was like, Donald Tusk? Who's that? I thought they were talking about Donald Trump. Quote, I have many fears and a lot of hope. Donald Tusk, Poland's prime minister, said on Monday. He added that the U.S. officials have pledged to consult European leaders ahead of the face-to-face talks between Mr. Trump and Putin, President Trump. We also have reported earlier here at the Gateway Pundit, the opponents of the peace talks are reacting to a plan that, plausible as it seems, has never been officially announced by either the U.S. or Russia. I see drum beats by Sparkle says Russia are swine. They will be defeated by who? By the Ukrainians? I don't see it happening. It's just time to take your medicine and understand that Ukraine has been conquered and they will continue to be conquered if they don't strike a peace deal with their conqueror. Okay? It's as simple as that. And I don't think Trump is willing to continue just handing over money left and right. The American people are pretty much done with it. Okay, so let's see here. I mean, there you go. There you go. The Nazis, always the Nazis, right? Never mind what's been going on in Ukraine. So as a reporter, okay, so the supposed peace plan would be endorsed by Moscow and it included freezing the front lines in southeastern Ukraine, that is incursion in Zaporizhia, if Ukraine agrees to withdraw from areas of Donetsk and Luhansk that it controls. So, I mean, that's the update there from the Gateway Pundit that apparently, what's his name, Zelensky, is actually moving the goalposts, as it were, and willing to go ahead and cede the land that Russia has taken. Who is Wagner? Wagner Nazis? I don't know, dude. I'm not an expert at that. I'm an America First American. This is the country that I care about the most. My main deal is, had we not give so many supplies, money, effort, the war would have been over a long time ago. Because Ukraine never stood a chance. Never stood a chance. They don't have the manpower. If you suggest and you think that Russia is going to win this somehow, explain to me how. Ukraine is going to win this somehow. Explain to me how they're going to do it. What is going to change over the last 3 years? What are they going to change to now all of a sudden start winning and taking back their territory, take back their own territory? Just doesn't make sense. Yeah, Zelensky can go play piano with his dick again. An actor. Right, and I think that the United States and Russia would actually combined hold 90% of the world's nuclear weapons. That'd be a much stronger ally. And there's a lot of benefit to having a partner so close to the United States, just across the Bering Sea and whatnot from Alaska, especially as the northern ice is melting, and that strait above Canada is going to become a main shipping line. How come you don't have a Ukraine flag in your as your picture, bro? Drum beats by Sparkle. Where's your Ukrainian flag in your profile picture? Most of the people here would prefer have Russia as an ally, especially over Ukraine. Even NATO, a bunch of takers. Like, and the bullshit coming out of the UK that Putin is gonna start touching NATO after they take over Ukraine. They have to be stopped now. Is nonsense. It's complete nonsense. They can barely beat Ukraine according to you guys. They're not even winning in Ukraine according to you guys. So how all of a sudden are they going to take more land? That just doesn't make any sense. Your logic is flawed. It doesn't make sense. You're a 2 + 2 = 5 type individual. And yeah, Ashley Babbitt was murdered, cold-blooded. That dude should be in prison for murder. Yeah, dude's a shitty troll, for sure. And Chris, you can block him if you want. Honestly, I don't need that crap in here, anyways. So, anyways, where was I? Okay. So Trump confirms that the summit will be in Anchorage. Let's see here. What is this? Oh yeah, this is a little short statement, but I really like what this lady has. My fellow Americans, historians, monetary policy analysts, and crypto enthusiasts, XRP, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This is for you. And
so here's what they don't want you to understand about the summit. This isn't just about ending a war in Ukraine. This is about ending an entire world order that has kept humanity trapped in cycles of imperial resource extraction and manufactured conflict for over a century. The British Empire never died. After Franklin Roosevelt died, it just put on a 3-piece suit and called itself the rules-based international order. The screaming you hear from London, Brussels, and their American assets isn't about Ukraine's territorial integrity. It's the death rattle of a parasitic system that has fed off human misery for generations.
Mm-hmm.
If America and Russia become partners instead of enemies, their game is over. I'm Barbara Boyd. The empire is dying and they know it. The only question is whether we'll help them dig their own grave or whether we'll let them drag us down with them. You won't find this real story about the background to the summit anywhere else but Promethean action.
so that's, once again, she actually, when added to that, the longer video of it, dive into the real story behind the Alaskan summit. It's 14 minutes long. I'm really curious. Should I play it? You guys let me know if I should play that whole thing, because, America's original oldest enemy is Great Britain, right? The UK. The British, and like she said, the British Empire fears a treaty, an alliance between United States and Russia. The death rattles of a dying empire. And, I think I would be all for it. Not that I want, the Great Britain to be obliterated or anything like that in war, but just to be cut off. Let's go ahead and recognize that they are America's original oldest enemy. And, plus the stories that come out of there, the crap that they've allowed happen to their citizens with refugees, with, we call them illegal immigrants around here, with the things that they've covered up from the royalty, you know what I mean? The abuse of children and women and things that still continue to this day, that's protected, that's been hidden from the public society. Yeah, I'm okay with them going ahead and getting, to be honest, right? Yeah. This person says the British have been ruling our country through the justice system that they set up in the beginning. It's time to end our slavery to the crown. Yeah, Trump is a big threat. That's something nobody ever talks about, is the the influence of Great Britain on our elections and our economy and everything like that. That's for sure. Let's see here. Then Fox News reported that as of now, Zelensky is not invited to the upcoming Trump-Putin talks. The White House says this was the reason. The goal of the meeting for President Trump is to walk away with a better understanding of how we can end this war, Leavitt said on Tuesday.
Well, this meeting came about because the president of Russia asked the
Sorry,
president
that's
of
quiet.
the United States to meet through his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, who, as you all know, traveled to Russia to have a conversation with Putin at his request. And so the president is agreeing to this meeting at the request of President Putin. And the goal of this meeting for the president is to walk away with a better understanding of how we can end this war. And the president said at this podium yesterday, when he joined all of you in the room, that he hopes in the future there can be a trilateral meeting with these three leaders to finally bring this conflict to an end. But this administration has really used every lever, has taken every measure to achieve peace through a diplomatic solution. And I think the president of the United States getting in the room with the president of Russia, sitting face to face rather than speaking over the telephone, will give this president the best indication of how to end this war and where this is headed.
Okay. I didn't know the gold around the flag was the UK was owning us still. That's interesting. I've never heard that before. I'm gonna have to look into that just to find out the story behind it. Not that I doubt you there, Jamie. That's interesting. TNT says, I want Great Britain to succeed. They're our brethren. White countries and culture are being destroyed, and I don't like it. It's not happening naturally. Is my issue. We are being systematically attacked. Well, yeah, I mean, the people, I'm never talking about the people. I'm talking about the leadership, the cabal that runs them, right? Because I do agree with that. And that's why they're allowing so many refugees to come in and, do the things that they do, because they are wanting to turn us, to get rid of us, right? I mean, white people are already the minority on the planet. TNT says France is lost. The UK 80% defeated. We're maybe 50. Yeah, we're 50%, but we're fighting back now. We're getting the deportations going. We cut off the borders, the open borders. Yeah, Jamie, if you wanted to post it in the Discord and tag me, that'd probably be the best way to send it to me. Or you could just direct message it to me. Let's see here. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to some other stuff. Let's see here. So Tennessee is set to open their version of Alligator Alcatraz. We talked about Alligator Alcatraz. See you later, Chris. Don't apologize, man. Good to have you here, brother. My back is killing me. I'm not gonna go very far past 9 tonight. Here, Eric Doherty posted, just in, the Trump administration will now convert a closed prison in Tennessee to an ICE facility for illegal aliens. Open them nationwide. And here's the little report.
The town of Mason approved contracts with both ICE and the Tennessee-based private prison company CoreCivic. Mason is about 45 miles north of Memphis, and it's the site of the West Tennessee Detention Facility. The CoreCivic-owned prison closed several years ago. Now it's going to reopen as an ICE detention facility housing undocumented immigrants. The town of Mason approved.
All right. So the success is being seen, what's going on in Florida. And thankfully, some of these other states are saying, yeah, we'll do it too. We need more states to do this, to be honest with you. Here's a story from Fox News. A small town in Mason, Tennessee has approved plans to turn a former prison into a migrant detention facility. Core Civic, a private company, is set to operate the site following the approval of its contract. The Associated Press reported the facility, which is now slated for conversion into a migrant detention center, was shuttered in 2021 after then President Joe Biden ordered the Justice Department to halt the renewal of contracts with private detention facilities. On January 20th, President Donald Trump rescinded Biden's order. The Tuesday night meeting was attended by dozens of protesters, and the scene frequently devolved into shouting matches, according to Fox 13 Memphis. Mason Vice Mayor Ronaldo Givon told the outlet that while he voted in favor of Core Civic, he really had to do some soul searching and ultimately decided to abstain from the second vote, which concerned ICE's contract. Consensus data shows that Mason has a population of 1,337 and has a median household income of just over $47,000. Mason Mayor Eddie Noman told Action News 5, the ABC affiliate, that the town saw this as a business opportunity and that it has nothing to do with anything going on inside the facility. The mayor, who is an Egyptian American immigrant, also said that he is looking for the best interest of the town, which in his view is to bring back jobs. Okay, so an economic approach. You're back. You came back with a different name. However, some of the townspeople ire, maybe because Core Civic has faced $44.7 million in fines across the multiple prisons, with the latest case happening on Friday, but it has had problems since 2022, according to understaffing violations. The Associated Press reported the outlet said it had reviewed documents showing that the company spent over $4.4 million to settle 80 lawsuits and out of court complaints about mistreatment. Okay, so let's see here. The Trump administration pushes to deport illegal immigrants. Some states have moved to partner with the federal government to expand ICE detention facilities. This includes Florida's Alligator Alcatraz, which recently hit a roadblock after a judge blocked construction at the facility. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer has vowed to fight back. I thought the facility was already built, so I don't even know what that is. I saw that they were doing a hunger strike, which was funny because that just saves cost on food. It's not like they're going to shut it down. On August 5th, ICE announced its second state partnership, this time with Indiana. Oh, awesome. I missed that one. Which will use part of the Miami Correctional Center in the Speedway Slammer, or for the Speedway Slammer, that's what they're calling it. That's funny, which will house migrants. Thanks to Governor Braun for his partnership to help remove the worst of the worst out of our country. If you are in America illegally, you could find yourself in Indiana's Speedway Slammer. Avoid arrest and self-deport now using the CBP Home app, DHS Christy Nome said in a statement. That's pretty funny. I'm an amateur and a cuck. Oh, really? That's funny. Bro, I've been reading for almost 2 hours straight. I'm sure you can't read nearly as good as I do. And plus, I don't claim to be perfect. And whenever you watch other people that are way more professional, they still stutter and they still misread. So don't even care. You're not hurting my feelings. Listen to what you're saying. Look at what you're saying. The things you choose to say. Let's see here real quick. Okay. Chris beat me to it. Yeah, Chris, you beat me to it. Thank you. I was going to ban him. He's permanently muted, but he'll probably come back. Let's see. You have a small wiener. That's funny. He did quote Billy Madison. That was all right. So anyways, got a couple more alligator Alcatraz type of facilities going up. This is really cool. I've been able to report on the UFC a little bit lately. And Dana White come out and confirmed that the UFC is to hold a July 4th fight at the White House for America's 250th birthday. Now, this is going to be a conflict for Donald Trump. Like, where's he going to be? The World Fair, Washington, not Washington, but the Mount Rushmore, or will he be at the White House watching the fights? We know that the fights are, he loves going to the UFC events. But this is pretty cool. UFC CEO Dana White has confirmed that the UFC will hold a fight on July 4th at the White House for United States' 250th birthday. White appeared on CBS Mornings, where he was asked about the prospect of the fight and has been announced by Trump previously. It is definitely going to happen, White told the host of on the network. White then added that the event will be taking place on July 4th, the 250th birthday of the USA, live on CBS from the White House. And that's cool because, as I announced on the last show, the UFC numbered events are going to just be on CBS and Paramount Plus with a regular subscription. You don't need to fork out $100 or whatever the numbered events have cost historically.
There is talk of a July 4th fight, America's 250th birthday.
Yeah, CBS Morning, they're probably going to try to copyright that. I read it. It's fine. White later added, quote, "When Trump called me and asked me to do it, he said, I want Ivanka in the middle of this. So Ivanka reached out to me and I started talking about the possibilities. Earlier in July this year, Trump made the announcement that the White House lawn would be made into a location for a UFC fight in the United States. Is approaching its 250th anniversary. Every one of our national parks, battlefields, and historic sites are going to have special events in honor of America 250. And I even think we're going to have a UFC fight," Trump said at the time. Quote, "Does anyone watch UFC? The great Dana White, we're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this. It's on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there," Trump added in his speech. We're going to build a little. We're not. Dana is going to do it. Dana is great, one of a kind. Going to be a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20,000, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as a part of 250 also. While the event is confirmed to take place, White said that it is too early to know who the fighters in the event are going to be. The comments from the White House follow a $7.7 billion deal for the UFC they made that we talked about before. It's a 7-year, $1.1 billion per year. It's amazing. Oh, Earl's daughter's got to run. You have a good night too. Got to ban that one. You can keep coming back. Different accounts. All you want. You're going to get banned every time, dude. Then here's the details. Okay. I already, we talked about that. I got them that time. I got the stream pulled up now on the YouTube side. I want to say thank you to everybody for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also up on Rumble, X, and then YouTube. We do have a Discord, but I don't think I put the link in this one. Gay's gonna gay. Yeah, for sure. So let's see here. Here's a story. Skip over a few things. So Trump is considering reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug. Trump is weighing whether to remove marijuana from the list of Schedule 1 controlled substances and make it a Schedule 3 drug. This is an 8-minute clip. I'm not gonna watch that. But President Donald Trump is weighing whether to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug, according to a report. Trump told attendees at a $1 million a plate fundraiser at the New Jersey Golf Club earlier this month he was interested in making a change to the plant's classification. The Wall Street Journal reported, citing sources familiar with this matter. Well, you know, the crazy thing about this is apparently like Chinese gangs, like mafia style or whatever, are running a lot of the grow operations within the United States. And I don't know how much I trust that stuff, even though it comes from the pharmacy. I'm glad I quit. I haven't smoked for like a month and a half now. And I know I quit once before, but I hope this time it's permanent, right? But anyways, this comes after cannabis companies have committed millions of dollars to the president's political groups, according to the report. The guests at Trump's fundraiser included Kim Rivers, chief executive Trulieve. That's where I used to go, one of the places. One of the largest marijuana companies. Rivers urged the president to make the change and expand medical marijuana research, the newspaper noted. The potential move to remove marijuana from the list of Schedule 1 controlled substances is to make a Schedule 3 drug, which would make it significantly easier to buy and sell cannabis and make the industry more profitable. This guy, you're spending a lot of time here. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, Chris. You're beating me to it now. I appreciate you for being back and helping out. TNT, you're right. Weed should be grow your own, no stores. Yep. That's the best solution in my opinion. But I do think it should be more on par with like alcohol. Honestly, I think overdoing alcohol causes way more damage than overdoing weed. Most of the time you just get the munchies and go to sleep or whatever. And a lot of people actually use marijuana to as medicine. If you're on certain treatments, you have no appetite, it brings your appetite back. I mean, amongst a lot of things, right? I mean, I smoked heavily for 25 to 30 years. So I understand the differences, and I've always thought that it was weird that marijuana was was highly illegal and even classified on the same level as like the hardest drugs out there. Yeah, Chris, you are the best moderator, and around here you're the only moderator. Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome, Captain Willie. Here's a 5 for the troll. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, that dude's just annoying. It's not even worth fighting with somebody that's so stupid. That's just completely unintelligent. Just makes the Democrat freaking screech sound. You know what I mean? Basically, with all their points, which are dumb. Nobody around here, and nobody with the free thinking brain actually thinks that Trump was into the Epstein stuff, right? If he was, the Democrats would have nailed him on it over the last 9-10 years, and they haven't, and we know why. He's not in it. And if they want to bring him to court, there's going to be a lot of discovery, and a lot of them are going to be brought into it. That's for sure. And then Trump would still walk scot-free. The pictures don't lie. Wow. You got way too many accounts. I think I'm going to go back and report you for having multiple accounts when the show's over. I mean, all your accounts are the same. It's all vulgar. Yeah. You're not even making an excuse. Like, I'm not going to address it. It's just stupid. The people you defend and the people you attack. So let's see here. Where was I at? Oh, yeah, this was funny. Mike Tyson, he weighs in on this medical marijuana story or whatever. Mike Tyson says whether he'd fight again depends on federal marijuana legalization and rescheduling. Look, dude, you should not fight again. Tyson said he agreed to his last fight versus Jake Paul while under the influence of marijuana. As President Donald Trump determines whether to pursue federal cannabis reform, he may also wield the power to determine the future of Mike Tyson's boxing career. Tyson has been one of the most vocal advocates for the rescheduling of marijuana from a Schedule 1 drug to Schedule 3, which is considered a far less dangerous category of substance, Trump told reporters Monday in a decision he will determine in the next few weeks. Tyson told Fox News Digital in an exclusive interview on June 30th, his 59th birthday, whether he fights again will depend on whether cannabis is legalized and rescheduled. Quote, it depends on if cannabis ever becomes legal or not and rescheduled, Tyson said when asked if it's possible that he will fight again. Tyson said he agreed to his last fight versus YouTuber Jake Paul while under the influence of marijuana and wouldn't have agreed to the fight if he was sober. He made a lot of money. I don't know why he'd say that. I don't really believe so. No, I wouldn't have done that, Tyson said when he's asked about the fight, because without cannabis, I'm getting too involved in my feelings. With cannabis, I'm very objective. He added that it wouldn't take much for him to agree to another fight before ultimately suggesting that depends on the rescheduling of the plant. Tyson led a coalition of current and former athletes, including Kevin Durant, Des Bryant, Antonio Brown, who signed a letter to the White House in late June lobbying for federal cannabis reform. The letter called for rescheduling of cannabis from Schedule 1 to 3, clemency for nonviolent marijuana uses or offenses, and ended discriminatory banking practices related to financial regulations of the cannabis industry. Oh, so maybe they'll start taking credit cards. You always had to pay cash whenever I would go. That's for sure. So hopefully that's what's going on with that part, with the banking regulations. But Tyson told Fox News Digital in the June 30th interview that rescheduling was the most important goal in his letter. He added that he was let down by how former presidents Barack Obama and Joe Biden handled federal marijuana reform, but is hopeful that Trump will take a new approach. Right. Those last two presidents basically promised and never did anything to fulfill those promises, whereas Trump hasn't ever even hinted that he would do this and might still reschedule it. It was a letdown, Tyson said, of Obama and Biden's handling. We have a different president now, so we're talking to him. So it seems a lot different talk to President Trump than it did with the other guys. Tyson has a long-running friendship with Trump that dates back to the 80s. During early years of Tyson's boxing career and Trump's rise to celebrity in New York real estate developer. Now Tyson believes that Trump himself would make good decisions for the country under influence of marijuana. I truly believe that, yes, Tyson said. So, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure Tyson has a marijuana company. Tyson said he would never invite Trump to use marijuana with him. Quote, no way. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't believe in anything that can enhance the motor skills of your brain. And I respect that, Tyson said. In addition to rescheduling clemency for nonviolent users, it is also a very personal priority for Tyson. Tyson said he has watched people get incarcerated for nonviolent medical marijuana offenses since he was a child. Quote, I'm friends with those people. Those people come from my community, Tyson said. So yeah, interesting little tidbit there, I guess. You know, I know if I would have had, if I would have, smoked a little bit when I was younger, like younger, I probably would have had less anxiety and stuff like that. Just knowing how it works on me. I would have gotten over some things that stayed on my mind for a long time. Let's see here. This is a fun one. Once again, we have another CNN host that is forced to admit Trump's economy is soaring. I think I just got the video here.
The key categories that we always look at: energy, food, and shelter. Energy fell by 1.1%. That was largely driven because of gas prices falling in the month of July by 2.2%. Look at that food. I mean, this is where people spend their money, right? Food every single day. Food flat, 0%, and actually down at the grocery store by 0.1%. And then shelter, we always usually see an increase because that is what people are paying on rent. And we
So let's see here. Core inflation remains the thornier subject, excluding food and energy prices. Inflation rose 3.1, just above the 3 expected. That's not the same report that we saw earlier. Overall inflation. Okay, there we go. So the CPI reports keep the possibility of a rate cut by the Federal Reserve firmly on the table at its next meeting in September. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has indicated he would be encouraged by economic data showing that there's no abrupt rise in prices is incurring a result of President Trump's tariffs, which we've already talked about that. Let's see here. Yeah, nothing really to add besides what she said, but I thought that's funny. Whenever CNN is admitting that Trump's economy is doing better than they all projected, all the experts projected, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. What do we have on here that's fun? I got a bunch more stuff. Anything else that's fun? Gavin Newsom gave Trump 24 hours to stand down from the redistricting. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. You remember this lady? This is
Americana.
This is the lady that said she was Guatemalan first. She went and gave a speech in like Mexico City or whatever. Let's see here. Breaking from Nick's order. This is a couple days old, but a resolution has been filed to remove squad member Rep. Delia Ramirez from the Homeland Security Committee. This comes after Ramirez said she was Guatemalan first. She shouldn't just be removed from the committee. She needs to be removed from the House. And here's her little speech. So I've mentioned before, I don't think any of our leaders should give speeches in foreign languages, which is not the language that we speak here. So how can we understand what she's saying if she's not speaking the native language? But here's this from the Gateway Pundit from today. Democrat Rep. Delia Ramirez says her family is in the U.S. illegally. Democrat Rep. Delia Ramirez says she has family members illegally residing in the United States. This is after she declared ICE a terrorist organization. Quote, "For me, who is the daughter of immigrants who half my family is still undocumented," Ramirez said on MSNBC. Oops.
About that. I mean, for us members of Congress, for me, who is a daughter of immigrants, who half my family is still undocumented, watching that footage.
Oops. Homeland Security posted this. Disgusting. If there's any doubt, here, then I gotta load it to get the whole thing. But Homeland Security saw that, posted disgusting. If there's any doubt that the Congresswoman from Illinois is fighting for illegal aliens over her actual constituents, here she is, proudly claiming that her family is undocumented. Sanctuary politicians should be thanking law enforcement for removing criminal illegal aliens from their communities. It's like this is her saying something about
our rights. Well, Tom Homan, let me tell you, all over the country, we will continue to stand up for our rights, and we will continue to call out the terrorist organization that is ICE.
We hope, you know what Tom Homan's response will be is, I hope you stand up, because that'll make it easier for us to find you. Get rid of the winch. She effed up and it's brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get rid of that winch. Spell check is killing you, TNT. This Lorianne said, did she just say half her family is still undocumented? Somebody needs to go find the rest of her family. If they hate America so much, we'll give them a free plane ride home. Deport her and her undocumented family. Professor Nez says, not a commie says disgusting behavior. Yeah. So she can go and get too. And she's annoying as hell. She effed up and it's brilliant. I love it. Yeah, your rights when an illegal immigrant are go back to where you came from. That's it. You're going to stand up for those rights. I love it. It's funny. Oh, I lost my spot. It jumped on me. My page jumped on me. Okay, so I'll finish with this one. So Libs of TikTok posted this. I got two things with it. Maybe drag them both over here. But she says, holy shit. Melissa Mormon, an employee of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet at KYTC, was fired after she blew the whistle on a scheme to give driver's licenses to illegal aliens at $200 each under the table. Mormon says that the scheme would happen. Mormon says that the scheme would happen 4 to 5 times per day at multiple branches across the state, totaling potentially thousands of invalid licenses. KYTC claims the licenses were issued in error. After exposing the scheme, Mormon was fired. The KYTC also denied any public request for documentation, withholding nearly 2,300 records. This needs a full investigation now.
The state didn't want this out. Fraud inside Kentucky's transportation cabinet. Licenses issued without a driver's test.
It is an ongoing WDRB investigation, and tonight we hear from a whistleblower who says coworkers used her login to pull off this scheme.
The employees were being paid underneath the table.
They say sometimes
I need to let my supervisor know about it.
truth hurts.
Did you ever think that this would cost you your job?
No,
And for Melissa Mormon,
I was angry for a long time.
this is one of those.
It hurts me that I'm talking about this and I actually like where I was working at.
I sense a lawsuit coming in her favor in the future here.
I came into the office that day. My computer was shut down. I was told to go to the front door. Detectives came in. They interviewed me. That was it.
Mormon says she was fired 3 months after she sent this letter to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, blowing the whistle that workers at the NIA Center licensing branch were selling driver's licenses under the table to people who never took the driver's test.
Undocumented workers.
How did it work?
And they didn't even take the driver's test? This is crazy. And this is on top of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden issuing thousands, tens of thousands of social security numbers to these same people. And they want to tell us the illegals can't vote, but are you seriously?
What was going on?
The undocumented workers would come into the office in groups. They would provide them either permits
$200,
or
yep, that's what it
driver's
said.
license illegally. So they will bypass without even taking the test.
How much?
$200 a person.
Up to 5 times a day, she says.
Was this an everyday thing?
Almost, yes.
And they're closed one day a week, right? So I mean, thousands. This is crazy. I didn't see this story coming, but here's the actual story. Whistleblower fired after exposing huge scam. Multiple Kentucky driver's license branch employees secretly sold driver's licenses to potentially thousands of illegal aliens for several years. Melissa Mormon worked at Louisville's NIA Center licensing branch through Quantum Solutions, a staffing agency contracted by the state to help the staff regional offices for 2 years and 3 months. Workers allegedly secretly selling for $200 each. A whistleblower said the driver's license scam was taking place between 4 or 5 times per day. I bet it was more than that. To be honest, I bet it wasn't just her login that was being used. I very highly doubt that it was just hers being used. This definitely demands an investigation in prison for the perpetrators. Like you said there, Captain Willie. These people are seditious, treasonous. Not really treasonous, but this is subverting the U.S. economy. This is crazy. Oh, that's good news, Jamie. I know you're concerned about that, right? Didn't you co-sign on that loan or something like that? Yeah, prison and take her house. I don't know if she got fired for being a whistleblower. I don't know if she got fired and now she's like, my coworkers were using my account, or if this was just her being fired and getting mad and trying to expose it. I don't know. But Andrea says 100%, Tyler, they were doing this to many employees for thousands of illegal immigrants and probably at different branches as well. I'm sure this isn't just the rare anomaly, the outlier. Yeah, that is the one that you co-signed on. Well, that's good that they paid it off, Jamie. I know you were concerned about that when it happened. They paid it off pretty quick, too. So that's good. That's good news. The employees were being paid under the table, Mormon said. So, yeah, I'm sure it was $200 cash. You'd almost think that it was just people being scandalous and padding their pockets, but apparently if she got fired for it, there's a little bit more to the story, some deeper roots. At least in my opinion. But according to Mormon, the documents, including social security cards and birth certificates, were forged but appeared authentic. They were used to issue driver's license permits and licenses to undocumented immigrants who never took the required test. She says the scheme bypassed Homeland Security background checks, which she discovered after transactions were processed under her name when she wasn't at her desk. I start getting these emails saying, "Are you doing this?" Mormon recalled. I'm not there for the day. So things start coming together. I'm like, what's going on? So in October 2024, Mormon says she and her supervisor submitted a letter to KYTC detailing the fraud. The 2 workers she reported were terminated in late 2024, according to her lawsuit. In January 2025, a detective interviewed her at work, and she says she was fired later that same day. Public records reviewed by WDRB News revealed that the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet mailed at least 1,546 warning letters to the drivers declaring their licenses were issued in error, were invalid, and must be surrendered immediately or face criminal prosecution. Which I learned this recently. When you get a driver's license, it's not actually your property. That's why cops can demand to see it or whatever, because it's not yours. This is interesting. I just didn't know that before. So whenever they say, look, your license was issued invalid, you got to send it back. That's like a legal order. You know what I mean? That's something that, like, in my opinion, should be a crime to not send it back if you're not sending it back. But of course, these people are criminals in the first place, getting the licenses, so they're not going to comply. And to anybody that they're using that license, you get alcohol, you go and vote, any of that stuff. I'm sure they weren't even verifying the ages. I wonder how many people are not the person that they said they were. You're basically giving people fake IDs, allowing them to change their identity. You're enabling a lot of sinister activity by issuing these licenses under false social security numbers and under the table and everything like that. You're really making it hard for law enforcement to find these people. And subverting our culture and subverting, everything that goes on with our norms, the laws that we all follow. Behind closed doors, the agency is withholding 2,300 additional records, shielding key details from public view under the cover of ongoing investigations. So I think that ongoing investigations need to be taken over by people with higher level authority. Although the U.S. Attorney offered the office that in the Kentucky State Police are involved in the investigation into fraudulent licenses for illegal aliens, you'd think the FBI would get involved with this too, because these people are taking these licenses out of the state. Democrat Governor Andy Bashar is downplaying the scandal. In April 2025, when asked if the scheme was linked to immigration, Bashar claimed he wasn't aware. That's a nice cop-out. That assertion is hard to square with the paper trail, including a whistleblower letter dated October 2024 and repeated WDRB inquiries in early 2025, suggesting the governor had ample opportunity to be informed months earlier. I'm sure he was. This is pretty crazy. At 200, that's $280K just to the DMV website. I'd bet someone else is charging much more. Yeah, I mean, whenever these operations are undergoing, the perpetrators know where to send the folks. So I'm sure there were more than 4 or 5 per day. I'm almost certain of it, because it's like, all right, this is where you go. They're being trafficked into the country. All right, so here's where you go in Tennessee. If you're in Tennessee, here's where you go in this is Kentucky, actually. This is where you go in this state. This is how you do it. People show up with their bullcrap papers. They get a valid driver's license. Now they can use that valid driver's license to get other things. And so it's a building block step by step. And it's all pretty sinister and evil. And I hope these people that are perpetrating it are held accountable soon. Thank you, Jamie. Andrew says, I already hit the like button, commented probably way too much already, and shared already. Jamie, LOL. Thank you guys for doing all that stuff. I appreciate everybody that shows up every show. You guys make the show so much better to be able to have this conversation, this community with everybody. It's nice to get to know you guys over time as we discuss things in Discord and the chat. I feel like I know a little bit about, all the guys, all the gals that show up for all the shows. And I think that's really cool. That's what I'm really trying to build around here. And I'm glad Chris is on board for letting me share his Discord and stuff like that as a part of the jar openers experience. And with that, I don't think the link is in the description. Chris, if you're still around, you want to share that Discord again in chat, you're more than welcome to. If not, that's fine. But we are going to be watching Spaceballs in the Discord here when the show wraps, which I'm going to do here in just a second. It's you guys. It's you guys, Andrea. It's you guys, and Chris, for sure. Let's close it out with today's Bible verse. It's from the YouVersion Bible app. This is Nahum. I'm not familiar with this book. Oh my gosh, that's terrible on me. Nahum 1:7 from the NIV. The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. He cares for those who trust in him. Yeah, which is wild to think that the creator of the everything actually knows us as individuals and cares about us. It's remarkable. It's it's magnanimous, right? But with that, I'll just remind everybody to, if you haven't yet, hit the like button, double check that you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. I did put some links to my other channels down in the Discord. I'm up on Rumble and X. You can follow me on both of those places. I did start a new channel where I'm opening baseball cards, football cards, packs. It's called Breaking. It's the lingo, breaking boxes, breaking packs. It's just a hobby I got into, or I was heavy in when I was a kid, and getting back into it little by little here. I'm having fun with it. It's just for fun, And if you're interested in watching those videos or just supporting the channel, make sure you hit that link, subscribe, watch the videos, all that good stuff. If not, no big deal. I know it's not for everybody. It's real niche. So anyways, with that, remind everybody that I am live every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And other than that, I hope everybody has a good night. I hope the rest of the week, the work week, goes by fast for you guys. And we'll see you guys on Saturday.
They lie on TV. They cry when we call it. We ain't taking orders. We make the audit. This ain't safe space rap. This is open season. Let's go. They can't close the jar. We already broke the seal. Now the truth's out and it's looking real, real. Mic lit like a fuse and the beat's on blast. We don't kneel, we don't flinch, we don't move last. America first, no mask, no leash. We the voice in the static, the storm in the breach. It's the Jar Openers podcast, no chill, just heat. We don't do sheep, we don't repeat. They say stay quiet, we talk loud. Built for the storm, we don't back down. Yo, CNN crying, big tech spying. Career politicians still looting and lying. They sell the fear, we cut the wire. Cancel us, nah, we rise higher. Truth ain't dead, it's your shadow banned. But we bring receipts, they can't withstand. From the border to the bank, from the vote to the war, we expose every crack that they try to ignore. Jar openers cracking open the lies, pulling back curtains with red-pilled eyes. Trust the science, but can't define a woman. Orange man bad, that's the whole damn sermon. Vote blue, stay poor, hate your flag, blame your race. Nah, miss us with the red golden jar. We already broke the seal. Now the truth's out and it's looking real, real. Mic lit like a fuse and the beat's on blast. We don't kneel, we don't flinch, we don't move last. America first, no mask, no leash. We the voice in the static, the storm in the breach. It's the Jar Openers podcast, no chill, just heat. We don't do sheep, we don't repeat. They say stay quiet, we talk loud. Built for the storm, we don't back down. It's not just a show, it's a battlefront live. Every mic is a mission and we thrive in the fight. They can't close the jar, we already broke the seal. Now the truth's out and it's looking real, real. Mic lit like a fuse and the beat's on blast. We don't kneel, we don't flinch, we don't move last. America first, no mask, no leash. We the voice in the static, the storm in the breach. It's the Jar Openers podcast, no chill, just heat. We don't do sheep, we don't repeat. They say stay quiet, we talk loud. Built for the storm, we don't back down. It's not just a show, it's a battlefront live. Every mic is a mission and we thrive in the fight.